Which cheap and mass-produced item is stupendously well engineered? Toilets. I've been a plumber 20 years and very little has changed, or needed to. Minimal upkeep, cheap and easy repair, very long life. Hey, so what is the difference between my house toilet that just flushes like regular and a commercial toilet in like a doctor's building where, if you flush it will also suck the clothing right off you? Is there a pressure regulator behind the toilet or something? Oh, this is a fun one. In your home toilet you have a tank filled with water, and when you flush it allows the water to dump into the bowl and flood it, causing it to siphon out. Commercial toilets have either a manual or powered valve that allows full water pressure to blast into the bowl for a set time. It all but ensures it'll flush since anything in the bowl is blended, but it's a more expensive design. Zip ties, such a simple piece of plastic but so versatile. I have one of the old-fashioned chain link fences. Some of the fasteners on the middle poles broke and in high winds the fence was swaying like crazy. A half dozen zip ties on the 3 posts and it doesn't budge and nobody even knows they're there. The intermodal shipping container, aka the Connex box. There are millions of the damned things all over the world, in use every single day. They are stackable, can be locked together, attach readily to ships, truck trailer frames, and rail cars, and can bear enormous loads. The cost of their manufacture compared to their economic use value over their useful lives is next to nothing. Soda/beer cans. The design has existed for decades with few changes. It's a way of using a relatively small amount of cheap metal to withstand the pressure of carbonated beverages, with a reliable opening mechanism. During pandemic I also noticed that some companies stopped using thicker material on the upper ridge of the can, probably due to supply shortages. They instead used a sort of stepped system that appeared to be almost as strong. Specifically, Bic lighters are incredibly reliable. You can find one on the ground that's been outside for months and they still work. Cheaper disposables break in a million ways and more expensive refillable lighters will leave you disappointed if you store them, but you can always keep a Bic handy and know it'll work when you need it. I'm a certified master watchmaker. I restore 18th-19th century pocket watches. Have always appreciated the quartz movement despite the fact that it wiped out 99% of the watchmaking jobs. If you need a watch for accuracy, get a quartz movement. It'll be more accurate than a $10,000 mechanical movement. The humble corrugated cardboard box. It's lightweight, strong, splash resistant, somewhat padded, doesn't break down in heat/cold, scratch resistant, recyclable, biodegradable and able to be assembled cheaply into any size. The basic design has existed for over 150 years. The retail shipping industry runs on cardboard boxes. The Corrugated Fiberboard Association of America would like to remind you that it's the humble corrugated fiberboard box you're referring to. A cardboard box is what your shoes come in. Edit typo, phone. I saw a video of someone take apart a lithium energizer battery the other day, and it looks like cotton balls and folded foil just all jammed together. Like someone figured out how to harness so much energy into that thing. Edit. This is my most popular comment. It's me admitting that I can barely tie my shoes, and here are people just casually throwing atoms together to make my car go zoom. To expand upon this, Guinness wanted to sell their beer in cans, but didn't want to sacrifice the iconic head on their beer. Their solution was a device called a widget. It's a small sphere filled with nitrogen with a tiny hole in it. Under pressure, the nitrogen stays inside the ball. When the can is opened and the pressure drops, the nitrogen escapes, agitates the beer, and creates just the right amount of head. The zipper. It's a very cheap mechanism that secures objects in a very neat fashion. No wonder it's used in most objects that need to be opened and closed, such as luggage and jackets. I bought the Stanley Grandpa Going Fishing Thermos. If you follow the instructions, it's ungodly how well it works. I actually started using their method with my cold Yeti can thingy, and it's amazing. For those unfamiliar with how to use a thermos properly, you fill the thermos with boiling water for about 15 minutes, dump that water out, and then put in your coffee/tea. By preheating your thermos, it will keep that drink hotter than hell for hours beyond the already long heat containment you get using a room temp thermos. If you fill a can with water, freeze it, and put it in your Yeti can cooler for a bit before you put your drink in it, it will extend its cooling abilities too. Secondary fun fact, you can also use a thermos as a slow cooker. I'd preheat my thermos, put my stew ingredients in a pan and bring it to a boil, dump it all into my thermos, and leave it in my lunchbox for the 5 to 6 hours until lunch. It's still steaming hot and all the ingredients have cooked down. It even worked with those ultra-tough beef stew chunks and raw barley. Both were soft and slow cooked to perfection.